Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Hope everyone is doing great today, and most importantly, I hope everyone is staying warm today because the weather has been very, very cold these last few days, and for those traveling to work today in West Bloomfield, you'll notice that the weather is a bit rougher than it usually is, and our roads certainly show it. Our very own Kevin McIntosh is outside right now, right on the roads to take a look and see what everything is like firsthand. Kevin, what is going on?
Well, there's a lot going on, Jake. First and foremost, I'm right outside Walnut Lake Road here in West Bloomfield. As you can see, commuters pretty much taking their time as they get to their destination. Just like most of us, most of the staff here at Civic Center TV, it's going to take a little while before you actually get to your destination. Now, there's been reported accident on all of the major highways in Wayne and Oakland counties, 75, 275, 96 as well. And people are just asking, for an example, the Road Commission of Oakland County asking that you just take your time. As a matter of fact, you would think due to icy road, why isn't there just salt on the roads? Well, once again, a Road Commission of Oakland County posted on their Facebook page essentially saying that when temperatures get below a certain temperature, not even salt will help the roads. As a matter of fact, in some cases, salt can make it even worse for the ice on the road and possibly have it refreeze, which is why they use alternatives on the road such as brine to kind of combat that. So overall, a very, very slow commute for most drivers on the road today. But here at Civic Center TV, from personal experience, we're asking that you just take your time, make sure you have that extra space and extra time for that margin to get to your destination safely.
Yes, that's right. Make sure you leave early. Give yourself plenty of time to change the course on the roads if you need to, if maybe some of the roads are a little rough and you need to find a detour. Make sure you plan accordingly for that. Great information, Kevin. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to let you get back inside and get warm and get out of the snow because I know that's probably not so much fun out there. But so much great information, and yes, I can speak from experience. The ride here today was very rough indeed. And of course, it's not just us here at Civic Center TV who are dealing with these colder than average temperatures. It is all across Greater West Bloomfield. This week, residents have been doing everything they can to avoid and beat out these frigid cold temperatures. And yesterday, I had the chance to head out, brave the cold, and speak to some of those residents to hear their thoughts on what this weather has meant to the community right now.
It feels like we're trapped. It's so cold. Feels like we're on the wrong planet at times. Can't even take the dog for a walk the last 3 days. Can't go for a walk when you're kind of stressed for the moment. You're just stuck inside.
I think the wind has been awful. Like when it blows in your face, it makes me very tearful. And even my dogs don't want to be outside for like more than a minute. So just trying to hunker down inside as much as possible.
And when you're inside, what are you doing to stay warm, like you and your family?
Obviously, I have the heat on high. I've been cuddling under a heated blanket a little bit too, and just trying to stay busy around the house, whether that be like cleaning or reading books to my daughter. And we went to the library earlier too, so trying to do some inside activities to stay warm.
Me and my parents have been going to the library a lot, and we've been shopping a lot during the past few days that I've had school off. Stay in the house, maybe start your fireplace, use a lot of blankets.
And are you ready for spring, summer, for all the warm seasons to be making their way to Michigan?
Yes, absolutely. I'm definitely a fan of summer. I don't know why I live in this state sometimes, but I've lived here my whole life, and every time winter comes around, I'm not a fan, but we make it through one way or another. So
Yeah, they make you get sick of it real quickly. Leah,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
thanks so much.
Lots of great things to see, and yeah, of course, great ways to stay warm this winter season. And I completely agree. Like, after a few months, like, you're really tired of the snow and you're just ready to get to the warmer months like spring and summer and get those ready and bring those good vibes right to the community. So big thank you to all of those residents for taking the time to speak with me and to hear their thoughts on this colder season. And I hope that they do continue to stay warm in the weeks to come. A big congratulations are in order to a Doherty Elementary Eye Center teacher, Colleen Mesta, who has been named Best in Class by the Detroit Red Wings. Colleen is one of just 25 teachers across Michigan to receive this prestigious honor. And as part of the recognition, she enjoyed 2 tickets to a Red Wings game, a pregame meal, Red Wings gear, and gift cards from Meijer and Little Caesars. Plus, $12,500 was awarded collectively to all honorees. It is a very well-deserved celebration of her hard work and dedications to the students right here in West Bloomfield School District. Big congratulations to Colleen. And if you want to see the photos that were just on our screen on Civic Center TV, you can check them out on the West Bloomfield School District Facebook page to see them for yourself. And you've got a great chance to showcase your work coming up very, very soon at the library fair. The West Bloomfield Township Library is now accepting applications for its 2nd annual local author fair. If you're a local author looking to connect with the community and showcase your work, this is the perfect opportunity for you. Applications are open online until February 14th for consideration. And last year, West Bloomfield resident Caroline Kerfoot, an author and illustrator of the Adventures of Fox picture book series, participated in the event. And she described it as a very wonderful way to learn and connect with both fellow authors and local readers. Don't miss out on this exciting chance to share your creativity. Visit the library's website for more details and to apply today at wblib.org. But that is sure to be a great event for all reading enthusiasts and for local authors looking to connect with other local authors and readers here in the 4 communities. The West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is going to be bringing the fun very, very soon with Casino Night. Get ready for an unforgettable evening at the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation's Casino Night on Friday, February 7th at the Glen Oaks Golf Club in Farmington Hills. This exciting event is done to support innovative programs and educational opportunities for both students and teachers right here in the West Bloomfield School District. Choose from 3 different ticket levels: the $50 Card Shark, the $100 Diamond, and the $150 High Roller. Each packed with gaming chips, raffle entries, appetizers, desserts, and late-night pizza. Can't make it? You can still support the Educational Foundation with a donation to support those teachers and those students. Enjoy casino games, dancing, entertainment, all while helping the next generation thrive. Get your tickets and learn some more information at wbef.org. But that is sure to be another very fun event coming up right here in West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Rotary Club is interacting with the community and doing so in a very innovative way. And our very own Kevin McIntosh has more right now.
It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host,
Kevin McIntosh, talking a little bit about the Rotary Club. How much do you know about the West Bloomfield Rotary Club or another club that is associated with them that actually adopts the young members of Greater West Bloomfield? Joining me right here live on The Splash, a few members of the West Bloomfield Rotary Club to tell us a little bit more about it. We have member of West Bloomfield Rotary Club, Ginger Winter, and West Bloomfield High School student and Rotary Interact Club member, Neil Kamith. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate this first and foremost, and I just want to kind of talk to you both about Rotary Club in general and your two clubs, the Interact Club and Rotary Club itself. Starting with you, Ginger, if you don't mind, let's just give a brief overview. What is Rotary, what is the Rotary Club, and why are high school students involved?
Well, Rotary is a club that is service-oriented. They have people from the business world, people who are in education, all different people who care about service for others. And Rotary is the adult club, but we also have Rotaract in a lot of the universities, such as University of Michigan, Oakland University. They have a club called Rotaract. Rotaract many times will take trips where they'll go to places like Haiti. They'll teach people how to clean their water so that they are stay healthy. There's a lot of things that Rotaract does. But before that, in the high school, we have clubs called Interact. And those Interact clubs are students, and we're teaching them how to do service things in the community, but also in the larger world.
Interesting. I like how you broke that down. From my perspective, I kind of see it as Rotary Club being the main club, and then you have some like development clubs right underneath that as you get to that level of being, out in the, I guess the real world, dealing with the real world situations that the Rotary Club does internationally, not just nationally, but internationally. So that's very, very interesting to learn and to find out. And with that being said, Neil, I'm coming over to you from your perspective also. How do you feel the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield, the Interact Rotary Club of West Bloomfield, involvement in supporting local organizations or partnership like Shelter Box, which I see that you all are partnering with? How does that shape the students' understanding of global and local services?
Right, of course. So Interact Club, as Ms. Winter said, is the high school version of Rotary Club, and we work closely with them to develop these events. So they help us generate ideas and fundraisers for various causes. So Shelter Box is one of our main causes where we help set up stands for Shelter Box within the high school and at high school events. Like first and foremost, we set up at our family fun night at West Bloomfield. We actually brought a Shelter Box in and we set one up. And we had our Interact Club members give tours of the Shelter Box and try and kind of sell and try to raise some money and donations for this great initiative of the Shelter Box, which is basically a small shelter which are set up for those in needs when their homes are destroyed in natural disasters such as the Palisades fire or hurricanes. And so, yeah, our Interact Club members, they gain this kind of connection to Shelter Box and to the greater world by understanding, like, they're giving the tours and then they're selling and trying to sell Shelter Box, and they're showing people all these tools and how it's been helping around the world. And so that kind of just allows them to learn more about all these initiatives that are going around in the world, and then kind of just give back to the community and let the community know. And it's just a really great learning experience to understand, what is Shelter Box, and then how can we help them, and how can we connect it to our local community? And yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I gotta kind of consume that a little bit more. So a Shelter Box. Shelter Box is if I'm not mistaken, it's essentially an entire organization. It's a whole nother organization that Rotary partnered with. And essentially they provide a giant box that'll have a bunch of different essentials in there, from a tent to flashlights and batteries, a shovel, and I would imagine so many other things in between that to help people adjust to possibly losing their entire lifeline, their entire livelihood through natural disasters, like you said, whether that's domestically right here in the United States or internationally. So I would imagine that helps the students understand a little bit more about the world news and world issues overall. Would you say?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So yeah, understanding those natural disasters and how we can help is exactly what Shelter Box is about. And, you know, making a difference in the greater world and not just our local community.
Okay. So now we're starting to get to the meat and bones of it. I want to break this down a little bit more. Ginger, with you now, because I want to talk about that shelter box a little bit more. It seems like there's a lot of different essential pieces and parts that go into these shelter boxes, and they're getting shipped off everywhere. So I imagine there's some sort of financial responsibility tied to this also. In what ways can the Greater West Bloomfield community actually help fund or build these shelter boxes, or even just help the Rotary Interact Club in general?
Well, there are people, anybody can purchase a shelter box, or they can purchase, and they can do it online. All they have to do is look up shelter box or Rotary shelter box online. It'll come up, and there's different kits that they can purchase. Our Interact kids are purchasing $1,000 of a total shelter box. But there are areas that have smaller kits, like for $100 or whatever, depending on, is it a flood, is it tornado, is it a war, what is going on? And then the people that run the shelter box company in London decide what the needs are. And then they send that to the area that's afflicted. And at that time, the Rotary Club steps in and delivers these shelter boxes to people in need.
Nice. I love how that works. It's a system. It's a collaborative effort also, like we said, and with it being essentially two international clubs and organizations that are doing things to help people everywhere. But I love how we have that tie right here in West Bloomfield. So thank you for providing that insight. And with this right here live on The Splash, by the way, we have a member of the West Bloomfield Rotary Club, Ginger Winter, as well as member of the West Bloomfield High School Student Rotary Interact Club, Neil Common, talking about shelter boxes, their partnership with shelter boxes, and what we can do right here in Greater West Bloomfield to help support people in need with those shelter boxes as well. Ginger, kind of going back to you, I want you to expound on a little bit of this global issue with the local tie that we have. How does Rotary's partnership with Shelterbox specifically strengthen those ties between our local club here and then the international relief efforts?
Well, the shelter box idea was started by a man in Rotary. And then they collaborated with this company that makes the shelter boxes. There's 7 different places where they're deployed close to where the emergency is, be fires or tornadoes or whatever it is. And we are letting our West Bloomfield people know about this, because as we have more problems with many different things going wrong with our climate, we need more and more of these. And so you, as a person listening today, you can write a check and it will go to our Rotary treasurer. And I'm going to put up a sign with the information on so you can copy it down so you can help with this ongoing effort that we are making. This is the sign where you can write a check to West Bloomfield Area Rotary Foundation. And it's 3994 Fieldview Avenue, West Bloomfield, Michigan, 48324. And on that check, where it says meant, you can put shelter box in the memo.
Yes. No, perfect. And it's an opportunity for our viewers and our listeners. If you're listening on 89.3 Lakes FM, she just held up a sign. Essentially, if you are looking to donate, you will go to the West Bloomfield Area Rotary Foundation, that address 3994 Fieldview Avenue in West Bloomfield. And if you are writing a check, make sure you put in the memo shelter box. That is one way that you can help donate to the efforts of West Bloomfield Rotary Club and Interact Club with their shelter boxes. Thank you for providing that visual and that information as well, Ginger. So Neil, on the student side of things, asking you and inquiring about you, with this specific shelter box initiative and campaign, what skills or values do you believe or have you personally gained by participating in this fundraising and awareness campaign?
Right, of course. So with any fundraiser or campaign, and especially with the shelter box, we've learned to work with a variety of people and various groups like our Rotary Club and the shelter box to set up events. And of course, we've been running these events at various, like the middle school and the high school. So we've had to interact with the administration. So I definitely think gaining a lot of people and communication skills is a personal skill I've gained. And definitely just organization as well, making sure you have enough volunteers, making sure there are enough activities to be done at our stands so that people are interested in Rotary Club and Interact Club and donating to the shelter box. So communication skills, organizational skills, and finally, just like being able to convince and sell is an important thing. And you really have to make people believe that they can make a difference because, you know, we believe in this cause so much and that they should believe in it too. So that ability to sell and just make that belief that they can make a difference is just an important skill that we've gained as well.
Nice.
And, you know, setting up these events, like there's just so much that goes into it, just like all that logistical skills you can gain. I think it's just been a great experience for all of us at the club to run these events.
Neil, I have to ask you this just for clarification, perspective purposes. I have to ask you, what initially made you gain interest in the West Bloomfield Rotary Interact Club? I want you to use this moment as a time of reflection as to why you joined, but also use it as a moment to sell to others who may have never heard of Interact or may be interested in joining.
Of course, that's great. So I originally joined Interact because I heard about it, and I had so much free time on my hands early in my high school days that I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to volunteer. And, you know, there's always a lot of one-off volunteering events that happen around school that you can do with NHS and NJHS. And I wanted to be making a consistent difference, you know, every single month, being involved in various events. And I wanted to be doing it with people I knew, like that were around my high school and my friends. And I saw Interact Club and I just thought that's perfect for me. I can make a consistent difference. I can be with people I know and have a lot of fun at all of these events. So that's why I joined personally. Now, going on to why I think other people should join. So of course, we offer volunteer hours for all those who need it. But I think a bigger thing, me personally, is that we're allowing a lot of young people to make a difference in their local community, which I don't think a lot of people get that opportunity a lot. And you actually get that, you can make that difference in a variety of ways, because we've been partnering with so many different organizations like the Haven Shelter and Hospitality House. And these are all various local community initiatives. And that's just like a great opportunity for anyone who's in the high school. I think that's really a big reason why you should join Interact. Yeah, you can be with your friends, you can gain volunteer hours, but you can also gain valuable connections and make just a great difference in your high school, your local community, and, you know, with the shelter box, even the world.
Oh my God, Neil, If I was your parent, I'd be so proud, man. I mean, that speaks to your maturity, sir, to feel like I wasn't doing much with my time, and I want to volunteer with my time instead of it being a one-off. I completely understand. You'll hear about an opportunity for community service or volunteer here and there, but then for that consistency so that you're making sure you're meeting new people, learning new skills, and just dedicating the extra time to helping those in need. I love that, especially in a student like yourself, so young. So kudos to you and your parents and your entire village for raising you with that ideology. Ginger, moving on to you, essentially just want to know, are there any other future plans for the Rotary Club, Rotary Interact Club, that you want to let people know about, how they could possibly get involved, and things of that nature, please?
Well, we have many things with the Rotary Club that we do, delivering meals at Thanksgiving and lots of things like that. But I think it's so important that people are aware of what Rotary does, the camaraderie, the fellowship that we have with one another. And it really helps. I have enjoyed so much being a chair of the Interact Kid. They're learning so much through doing. And when they're doing things, helping people at retirement places, spending time with people in the community, it really is such a valuable experience. So I welcome anyone to visit our Rotary, or if they have children at the high school, look into that, because this group of Interact kids are so wonderful, just like Neil. He is president this year. He's senior, but we need more people coming up to take responsibility and doing activities that are so meaningful.
Right. Couldn't have said it better myself. You have to eventually pass that torch to the younger generation. In order to do that and spark that interest, you have to be able to do things to kind of inspire them and get them motivated to be involved, which we appreciate both of you being here to take that opportunity to inspire others and let people know about the Rotary Club and the West Bloomfield Rotary Interact Club. Once again, from the West Bloomfield Rotary Club member Ginger Winter and West Bloomfield High School student and Rotary Interact Club president Neil Comet, we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Kevin McIntosh, for going out and getting that interview. Really interesting to hear the perspective from both a member of the Rotary Club and someone like Neil as a student, to hear their thoughts on this great, great cause for the entire community. Can't wait to see what comes next. If you want a chance to help out people right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community, you will have the chance to do so very, very soon as the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church Blood Drive is coming up very, very soon. And here to tell us more about this initiative, we have the pastor with the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church, Reverend Elizabeth Hurd, joining us right now on The Splash. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Always love having you with us. Really happy to be talking with you, and really interested to be getting into this conversation about this blood drive. How has the United Methodist Church with West Bloomfield become such a vital partner in organizing local blood drives like these, and what's the response been from the community so far?
You know, it's been a little while since we've had a blood drive. It's probably been about over 10 years. And the church has just been thinking about ways that we can engage with the community and give back to the community. And we thought about, what if we just reached out to the American Red Cross and asked if they needed a space to host a blood drive. And so we're kind of getting back into the swing of things after 10 years. And the response from our immediate congregation has been wonderful. We have lots of people who have signed up to give or to volunteer and help. And every time we've talked with people out in the community about it, like at the Faith and Community Alliance that we just met here this past Thursday, the response has been pretty positive. And so we're excited to be able to host and to kind of see how we can build this partnership up again and make it strong.
That's right. And I've attended a couple of the blood drives we've had here in West Bloomfield recently, and I've seen just how much the community has rallied around events like these, and every little bit helps and goes such a long way to benefiting so many people who might be dealing with medical things that might require more blood. And what makes the winter season particularly challenging for maintaining blood supplies?
I'm not sure if it's just the winter season. When we've met with our American Red Cross liaison and the person organizing it through the American Red Cross, she said that really since the pandemic, there has been a shortage of blood, not just in local regions. There's always kind of been blood shortages in local regions, but they've seen more and more nationwide blood shortages. And so whether that is just people got out of the habit of giving during the pandemic, or they've been unable to give, or just have not thought about going, blood shortages have been more and more common, unfortunately. And we know that giving blood can be life-saving. And so we wanted to do our part to try to encourage people to give more.
I can certainly understand how something like the pandemic can alter someone's view on a practice like this and maybe give them a little bit of concern. But it's great to see that more and more people are starting to give back again. But maybe not everyone is comfortable just yet. So beyond giving blood, how can residents get involved in supporting the success of local donation events such as this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's a multitude of ways. One of the best ways is to just let your friends and family know that there's a blood drive going on. You might know people who are donors. You might know people who maybe have never donated before but have been thinking about it. So, share the information and let people know that there's a blood drive going on right in the West Bloomfield community that's easily accessible to folks in this community. But also, we will take any volunteers if you want to come and help serve cookies or juice to make sure that people who do donate are able to kind of get their blood sugar up again after donation, or just talk with people as they have to wait 15 minutes after a donation. Those are ways that you can volunteer as well. I mean, we have people in our congregation who gave blood in the past but are no longer able to, and those are the ways that they're engaging, is helping with check-in, helping with welcoming people, giving out cookies and juice afterwards, talking with folks. And so there's ways that you can support it beyond just giving blood. And we're more than happy to take any volunteers who want to come on in.
And yeah, just like with giving blood, every little bit of support goes such a long way. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Reverend Elizabeth Hurd with the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church joining us right now to talk about the church's upcoming blood drive that's going to be taking place very, very soon. And how does hosting this blood drive, or blood drives like this one, align with the mission and values of the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church?
I have a little bit of a joke here, so let me be a pastor for a second. But I say, if Jesus gave his life for us, we can give 1 pint of blood for the sake of others. But really, the United Methodist Church has always been a church that has cared deeply about community health, cared deeply about the ways that we can serve the world. And so community outreach events or donation events like this really do align with our mission and ministry, which is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. And I can't think of anything more transformative than offering somebody a chance for life through the donation of blood. So it's just a wonderful way that we can engage with the community and also serve and give back and live out our faith here.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do. A big reminder to everyone, the date of this blood drive is going to be Friday, January 31st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So make sure you come out there and to give your support to everyone here in the community. I got one more question for you, Elizabeth, before we let you go. Are there plans to expand or increase the frequency of blood donation events here in West Bloomfield? And if so, how can the community help to support these efforts?
I think that the Red Cross would love to have more hosting sites and more donation sites around West Bloomfield. I believe the closest, don't quote me on this, but I think the closest Red Cross donation center is in Farmington Hills, which is a bit of a drive for folks within our community. And so we're looking at maybe possibly, depending on how this one goes, maybe setting up another one in the future. But also, if you have a local organization, a local faith community, or anything like that, just get in touch with the Red Cross and let them know that you're interested in hosting a blood drive, because they're looking for partners and hosts for places right here in the community.
Looking everywhere they can, but great information and a great way for the community to get involved. Reverend Hurd, we thank you so much once again for your time here on The Splash this morning.
Thank you.
Glad to have all this information for a very important cause, but that blood drive is coming up very, very soon, so hopefully you can stop by to give your time and a little bit of blood to help out so many people. But once again, thank you to Reverend Hurd for her time and for having this interview. Some big updates are coming very, very soon to one of the most popular parks here in West Bloomfield, Pine Lake Park. And here to tell us more about some of these updates, we have the Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks, Kelly Heyer, joining us today on The Splash. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. I know things have been very busy over in parks. You guys have been doing a lot of great work here in the community, and I'm really interested in hearing about some of these big updates that are going to be coming to Pine Lake Park. Can you tell me about them?
Sure. So as you know, that we put in front of the public last year a master plan for Pine Lake Park, and the commission did adopt that. We also took it to the Bloomfield Hills School District, as you know, our partner in that park agreement. And we are tackling two things at Pine Lake for 2025. And of course, the playground, the top requested amenity, is one of them. But we're also simultaneously planning out the entire park. So some cost savings will happen when you engineer the entire thing. And that is something we told the township, or asked of the township, for consideration when we're going back to Planning Commission and site review, that we would have the whole park planned out, but we would build it in phases. So we haven't received back the quotes for the engineering yet, but we are going to be probably taking that to commission next month. But we started researching the playground. So as you know, we did a big improvement to Drake Sports Park playground last year. And that's the first playground that we have installed ourselves without a big park renovation. And it was a big refresh that was desperately needed. So coming off of that playground project, we learned some things, and we have talked to the township again in the permitting and the process that is needed to install playgrounds. And so last night at the Parks Commission meeting, we presented our concept idea, and then we'll go back again when we have contracts passed. So can I share a little bit about the concept plan there? Absolutely. Go right ahead. Okay. So we are taking a different approach, and this won't come to a surprise to you, but our angle is a more natural base playground. So typically, if you look at elementary schools or a lot of park departments in the surrounding area, you'll see the traditional plasticky based tower-based program or playground, And so the main part will be some kind of climbing or a bridge or some kind of balance beams, but it's made out of plastic and metal, of course. And then the traditional swing sets, or like the now version of a merry-go-round or a teeter-totter. So we still want those fun elements to appear in the playground because that's the fun part. But most of the playgrounds you'll see at Pine Lake will actually be made out of rocks, stone, and timber. And so if you are able to show any pictures from the commission report last night, if not, that's okay. But the concept is when you're approaching the playgrounds, it's on multi levels of elevation. And so kids can climb up and it's purposely put in place steps that are made out of rock or logs that create a staircase, if you will, or it's just fun, inspirational play for kids and how they're going to traverse to the next section. And then as far as slides go and the swing sets go, that will be more traditional, but the color will be muted in more earthy tones to match the space that's Pine Lake Park.
Wow, those are some great updates. I can't wait to see how that's all going to come together in Pine Lake. And I'm really curious as to why you've decided to go down this route and what you think that these elements are going to bring to the people of West Bloomfield.
Well, that is a great question. So we really want to inspire, we want nature to inspire kids' creativity and play. And so if you've been to the Recreation Activities Center, we have the outdoor natural play area. And the outdoor natural play area was created by our naturalists here, led by Lauren Azuri, our head naturalist. And that is, again, when you look at the space, you might go, oh, what is happening there? Because it just looks so simple and basic. But kids have a blast, because what happens at the playgrounds when you have an opportunity to use a little bit more of your creativity and you're outdoors feeling that fresh air, and you can dig a little in the dirt or the mud, or turn a log over and see what's under there, or use some of the elements that we're going to purposely put out there, it just sparks a different creativity in kids, and it's just a different way to approach play. And because nature is so important to us, and we want to also complement the woodland lot that is at Pine Lake Park, we just thought, and we've seen other park districts put these in, that we should consider it. And actually, there is some really cool trending playgrounds that have just been installed that match our vision almost exactly. And so we've been able to talk to their park maintenance departments and their installer and get some feedback. And it's been very widely received by their communities. So I know it's going to be a great fit for the community of West Bloomfield.
I think so too. I mean, just hearing about all of these ideas, it is a very different playground than what you most would expect, but in the best way possible. And I think this is going to be so much fun for the people of the community. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have Kelly Heyer, the Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks, joining us right now to talk about some of the big updates that are coming to Pine Lake Park very, very soon later this year. And Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are currently in the process of either looking for an architect or finalizing an architect for this project. Is that right?
For the playgrounds?
Yes.
Yes. So we are receiving engineer quotes right now from engineers, and we will engineer out the entire park. And so that will include everything, all the sport components, all the parking lot components, everything that we want to include in the spaces that are in the master plan, including the trails and the playgrounds. And in order to do that, we need to start with the engineering first, as well as the landscape architect. So when you are creating a new space for a park, there is so many different directions to go in. And we have chosen a very modest neighborhood park feel. So still the amenities that the neighbors are used to seeing and experiencing there at Pine Lake will be replaced and upgraded. But then we also are bringing a few more amenities to the park, or desire to. So we are planning out the whole park base while we're also focusing on the playground, because our goal will be to break ground on the playgrounds this year and build it and open it this fall.
Well, that is great. And that answers one of my questions on the time frame of when you're going to be having these parks up and running for everybody. So they're going to be in the fall. Is that correct?
Yes. So we're hoping to break grounds August 1st is our goal right now on paper, and open sometime in October. And I know some people might say, well, why would you do that? Again, typically in the industry, when you're dealing with a short window of build time in Michigan, we are also up against when a lot of our playground installers do a lot of work for schools. And so their window for school work is June and July. So they're wrapping up their projects in August. So that's what we found success in starting a project like this. And we're not competing to their other market, the sectors that they are doing business with. And so that leaves for parks some room to do park playground improvements August, September, and October.
Well, I'm sure everyone in the community can't wait to see what's going to come with Pine Lake. And I got one more question for you, Kelly, before we let you go. With the ideas that are coming into place with Pine Lake Park, do you have similar plans in place that might be coming for some of the other parks here in the community?
Well, we are doing some upgrades at Marshbank Park, and that will be released to the public soon. And that is going to be a 3-year repaving project. So that will include the walking trail and the sidewalk, as well as the parking lot resurfacing, including the front entrance of Marshbank. And so that's a big project, similar to how we did Drake several years ago now. We broke it up into 3 different years. Financially, it's more affordable that way, and we don't have to close the park very much to the public. It will be, for the phases, they will be 3 months at a time. So this year, we are looking at August 1st for 3 months. That there'll be work going on at Marshbank. So again, we're going to share that with the public. And then, of course, the Connect Community Center project. We'll have a big update in February for the community as we're making progress every day there.
WB Parks, a lot of things in place, and can't wait to see how they all turn out. Kelly, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks. And I hope you guys check out the pictures, because I'm sure my verbal description didn't do it justice. But if you watch the commission meeting from last night, or we can, of course, give you some references to look at. But nature is the way to go, the theme, the inspiration for West Bloomfield Park. So we're just taking it to the playground this time.
That is absolutely right. Big thank you to Kelly for her time today, and can't wait to see all of the great work that comes with the playgrounds here in Pine Lake Park and beyond, with the plans that are coming in the future. Lots of other great stories and great topics to get into right after this quick commercial break. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. What people are watching in West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. In Oakland County, there's a very important date that is coming up, and that is the Point in Time Count, a comprehensive effort to count and survey people experiencing homelessness on a single night in January each year. And here to tell us more about what this means for Oakland County, we have the president and CEO of the Community Housing Network, Kirsten Elliott, joining us right now on The Splash. Kirsten, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am great. Really happy to have you with us and really happy to be getting into this conversation. So I just went over a little bit on what the point in time count is, but describe it a little more for the overall, for people who may not have ever heard of something like this, what it really means for the people of West Bloomfield or for the people of Oakland County.
Absolutely. So the point in time count, we've been doing the point in time count in Oakland County and actually across this country since 2007. And it's a night where we go out on within the last 10 days of January. So every community across the country is doing this right now. And essentially it's to get a count of all of our sheltered and unsheltered folks that are experiencing homelessness. And the reason why this is so important is because that gives us a way to see, are our interventions helping? Where does funding need to be reallocated? Who are we seeing that is showing up in our shelters or who are experiencing homelessness out on the street? And so that can help us know where we need to tailor our services to.
All very important things. And yes, it's great to have these resources and to have this information to help people who might be experiencing something like this. And Kirsten, what have you seen throughout Oakland County in terms of the homelessness rates throughout the last few years?
Absolutely. So we did see a little dip during the pandemic, and that was there was a lot of extra funding available to help people stay housed and stay in their homes so that everybody could be safe. We are seeing an uptick. Last year across the country, we saw an 18% increase in homelessness. And it was a little lower here in Oakland County, but we did see an uptake in it. One of the fastest growing populations that we're seeing right now in our homeless population is older persons. So people who are 55 and older, we're seeing them, that population increase, which is definitely on track with how our populations are trending, but it is definitely worrisome.
I can imagine. So it's something that you don't want anyone to deal with. You wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy. And what have been some of the things you've seen around our area, around West Bloomfield?
So within West Bloomfield, we're seeing definitely, so there is that perception that there's no homelessness in West Bloomfield. A lot of times the folks that are kind of like under the cover. Some of them are doubled up, people who are have housing instability, and they might not be what we call literally homeless, living out on the streets or in a place not meant for human habitation, but they are doubled up. They are needing to have housing assistance. And the reason why it's so important that we address this issue across all of our communities in Oakland County is because it affects everybody. If a family member or if you have an employee who is having housing instability, that means you're going to have higher turnover, and that employee might not be able to get to work, or their kids might not be able to get to school. And so really for communities to thrive, we really want to be able to make sure that everybody has that housing. And so in West Bloomfield, we've been seeing definitely when we go out and canvass, what we get is we get a lot of individuals, or we'll canvass like Target, we'll canvass the gas stations and different like Planet Fitness, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we know this person. They're living in their van behind here." And so we are able to then help them, give them the resources so that we can work and have our outreach teams follow up and go back out and meet with them. But they're there.
That's absolutely right. And sometimes, like you said, it's not the typical homeless picture that you see in your mind. It can be in many different ways. But whatever the way, it needs to help be prevented. For those just joining us right now, we have Kirsten Elliott, the president and CEO of the Community Housing Network, joining us right now on the Splash Live to talk about the Oakland Point in Time count that's coming up very, very soon. And Kirsten, I want to get into a little bit on what Community Housing Network does to help these people who are dealing with homelessness or are dealing with financial struggles that might lead them to homelessness. What are some of the things you help to do to help get these people back on their feet?
Absolutely. So Community Housing Network, our mission is to empower people to live in affordable homes so that all of our communities can thrive. And it is essential. So we do everything from street outreach and helping people if they're living in their cars, living out on the street, to get connected to housing and other resources that they would need to get into housing. We also provide permanent housing and we provide rapid rehousing. And those are programs that are designed for folks that are homeless to get rapidly housed so that they can start to rebuild their lives and get into recovery or get employed and get back into school and to be part of a thriving community. We of course don't want anybody to become homeless in the first place. And so we really work on prevention and diversion and helping people to connect and with other resources that they might have, helping them to brainstorm and think of different ways, getting connected to other prevention funds. So last year, we helped over 17,000 people, and we've invested over $12.5 million back into the community. That's directly to participants to help keep them housed. And again, it's about that prevention, and it's about making sure that people don't get into the situation to begin with. And so we also work with families and who have family members with intellectual and developmental disabilities to help plan for and make sure that there is a housing situation that will help them to thrive and be independent in the community while meeting all of the needs of the family and that individual. So we do everything from the gamut. We do a lot.
You guys certainly do a lot, and it's because of that work that you are helping so many people, and we do thank you for that, Kirsten. And I understand that you guys also put a special emphasis on people with disabilities and their families to be helping them as well. Could you explain a little more on that?
Absolutely. So we work with Oakland Community Health Network, which is the behavioral health provider in Oakland County. And we have our Oakland Housing Link program, which is a program that helps family members and people with intellectual and developmental disabilities navigate housing. Housing is a very complex system. And when you have, in finding accessible housing that will work in your budget, it can be very daunting. And so what we do is we have housing brokers that help family members plan and to learn how to develop, how to match roommates, and find housing that would be most appropriate for their loved ones. It's always a challenge. I have a son who has cerebral palsy, and I know it's just finding accessible housing that is affordable is very hard. And then making sure that he has the support that he needs to be able to live independently is also very important. So we work with all of the service providers in the community to make sure that everyone is housed and supported the way that they need to be.
That's great to hear about your personal connection to something like this. And in watching this interview, a lot of people might be inspired to get out and help themselves. And I'm curious, how can people help out with this cause if they're interested?
Absolutely. Well, obviously, monetary donations is always welcomed. We have volunteer opportunities. We also have a lot of opportunities to provide in-kind goods. So we do drives for cleaning supplies, welcome home baskets. You can go to communityhousingnetwork.org. Also, learn about housing instability, housing challenges, different policies that can help make a difference for individuals and families so that our community can thrive and that we all can participate equally in the community.
Well, really interested in hearing all of those great resources. And as a reminder for everyone, the Oakland County Point in Time Count is going to be taking place on Wednesday, January 29th. Kirsten, I got one more question before we let you go because we are running short on time. Is there any more information you can provide to the people of West Bloomfield about Oakland County Point in Time?
The main thing that I would say, we already have all of our volunteers ready for the point in time count, is to be on the lookout for our volunteers. We will be out canvassing between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. that night. And so if you see us and if we come into your business establishment asking, do you know of any individuals that are homeless, please do work with us and tell us where you know where people are at, if you know where that. And we really appreciate it because it really does take a whole community to do this. And we do canvass all of Oakland County, all 62 municipalities. So
it certainly does take a village, but it takes a lot of effort and hard work, and you are certainly helping to provide that. Kirsten, we thank you so much for your time in joining us on the Splash Live today.
I appreciate your time and thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, really interested in hearing about the point in time count and all the work that the Community Housing Network is doing to help combat homelessness. And if you're interested in seeing all of our stories from today's episode and from previous episodes, our stories. You can see Tyler, you can see Kevin, you can see anything. You can check them out on civiccentertv.com to see everything we got to say. You can scan the QR code that is on our screen right now. That will take you directly to the website, or you can punch in civiccentertv.com to stay updated with our show and with the recent board meetings and events from all across the 4 communities. But that is going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to Kevin McIntosh for his work out in the field. Big thank you to all of our team members for putting together a great show, and for our guests. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.